Thank you for staying up late for 5 on your side at 10. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Kelly Jackson. Police say William Doug Palmer was shot and killed in downtown St. Louis last weekend by a woman he was trying to take to a warming center. 5 on your side's Laura Barcheski traveled to Troy, Missouri tonight to talk with his grieving family.
William Douglas Palmer wore many hats in his life, a loving father of 4, grandfather to 1, and fiance to Ryan Jones, known to his loved ones as Doug.
I love him, and he was the glue that held our family together.
Last weekend, he was out collecting scrap material on the side when suddenly everything changed. With a warm heart, he tried to lend a helping hand to a woman out in the cold.
She asked him if he would take her to a warming shelter. And of course, with the person he was, he said yes. I know he had somebody in the car with him that got a bad vibe from her and decided to get out of the car.
Ryan says she believes there's a lot more to the story. They don't know what happened between 10 p.m. and 2:30 a.m. when the worst happened.
I know he was arguing with her after a while to get out of his truck, and he got out of the driver's side and she shot him from behind.
St. Louis police officers found him suffering from a gunshot wound in the 300 block of North 9th Street, where he died. Detectives in the Real-Time Crime Center used cameras to track the woman who we now know is 36-year-old Brittany Revoir.
She stole the truck, but he had a blow box on his truck, so she didn't make it very far, and it shut off.
Police say she then walked to a nearby fast food restaurant where she got in another car that was pulled over by police, and they arrested her. Ryan says now all they want is justice.
Nothing's going to bring him back, but knowing that we got somebody off the streets that would kill somebody over nothing is really big.
Reporting in Troy, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
Palmer's family is still working out funeral arrangements. The suspect is in custody and facing multiple charges, including first-degree murder.
New information tonight in the deadly shooting of a 5-year-old boy in Florissant. Today, prosecutors filed child endangerment charges against Rayvon McPherson. The shooting happened Friday on Jerry's Lane. According to police, the child found a loaded gun and accidentally fired it. Prosecutors say McPherson admitted he was at fault.
Now to the weather impact forecast. A chilly night across the bi-state.
Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell, though, is tracking a big warm-up for the start of the work week.
You know, we thought we would get warmer today than we ended up getting in St. Louis. It wasn't far away. We only made it into the 40s in St. Louis, but it was almost 70 down in Springfield and Joplin. Sad thing is, as you went over towards Florida and Effingham, barely above freezing this afternoon. And that warmer air just kind of hit a wall as it moved towards us today. The good news is it does get here tomorrow. Now, we've tempered those numbers a little bit from what we've had over the last couple of days. It doesn't look like the really warm air is going to get here, but still milder than it has been. 56 on Monday, 60 on Tuesday, and then we're back to reality for Wednesday through the rest of the week with temperatures in the mid-40s. As you head out tomorrow, we'll start with temperatures in the 20s, and by 3 or 4 o'clock, we're back into the mid-50s. Overnight low temperatures, though, pretty chilly. Outlying areas, low 20s, especially east of St. Louis, mid-20s in the metro area, and closer to 30 as you head southwest of St. Louis. We'll be along to track an active pattern that develops for later this week in a few minutes.
Tonight, a man is behind bars after a tense standoff in a quiet Creve Coeur neighborhood. Police say a man held 2 people hostage at gunpoint yesterday at a home in the Fernwood subdivision off Olive Boulevard. 5 on your side's Melanie Johnson has reaction tonight from neighbors.
Forced to stay indoors for hours.
Oh, you're in front of my house with guns. I got kids. Like, let me know what's going on at least.
Creve Coeur police seen with guns drawn on Ferntop Lane early Saturday into the afternoon.
Just looking out my front door and seeing like 5 cop cars kind of blocking off the street was insane.
Officers say 2 people ran from this home after being held at gunpoint. No one was hurt.
This is not the kind of neighborhood you expect to see cops with guns, you know, fingers near the triggers. I don't know. He was ready to shoot.
This man did not tell us his name, but lives across the street from the person police say is responsible. 57-year-old Joseph Imboden, accused of threatening 2 people with a gun. Bonnie Winningham is just around the corner.
I try to avoid that house in particular.
You never know what's out, like, who your neighbors might be.
Creve Coeur police say when they arrived on scene, the suspect refused to exit the home. He finally gave up and came out, and then he was taken into custody on a resisting arrest and gun charges.
I've been here 13 years, and that's the most cops I've ever seen, ever, all at once in Creve Coeur.
Bowden charged with kidnapping Sunday, and for this neighbor and his family, it's a sign to move out.
We're looking at other neighborhoods.
Melanie Johnson, 5 on your side.
Joseph Bowden is from Arkansas. He remains in the St. Louis County Justice Center on a $100,000 bond.
Tonight, frequent gunshots and street racing has some West County families fearing for their safety. The chaos is happening near several large industrial warehouses off River Valley Drive in Maryland Heights, not far from their Chesterfield neighborhood. One neighbor said she saw the most cars she'd ever seen drag racing near her property Friday night. She's worried that a stray bullet might eventually reach her home.
Friday evening, there was probably at least 40 to 50 cars that were drag racing. So we hear squealing tires, revving engines, and then once the police arrived to chase them away, there was a lot of gunfire.
Residents have tried contacting Maryland Heights police and getting the state involved. They're hoping more security can be implemented around the warehouses.
The celebration is underway tonight in Seattle in a game you watched right here on 5 on Your Side. The Seahawks defeated the New England Patriots 29-13 in Super Bowl 60. Sports director Frank Cusimano will have highlights and reaction later in sports. Tonight marked the first Super Bowl since sports betting became legal in Missouri. Sports betting has been taking off since it was legalized on December 1st, with more than $500 million in revenue in the first month. The Missouri Gaming Commission expects the Super Bowl to have a big impact on revenue.
You know, the month of December not really having a big sports event. You know, it's not a World Series, it's not a Super Bowl. I guess maybe personally I was surprised at the volume of bets that were still taking place, despite the fact that there was no big single event that people might necessarily have been betting on, like the Super Bowl.
Americans were expected to legally bet a record-breaking $1.7 billion on the big game tonight. Controversial data centers will be the hot topic at meetings in St. Louis City, St. Charles County, and Festus this week. Missouri is seeing an unprecedented boom in data centers, with nearly 60 sites now across the state. These sites guzzle electricity, raising fears that everyday consumers will be on the hook to pay for the upgrades to the grid.
We've seen big industries come before, big manufacturing plants, and sometimes having a big manufacturing plant on your electric grid is a positive to other customers. In this case, we don't really know because of the secrecy involved.
Ameren, Missouri insists customers are protected. Tomorrow night at 10, the data divide. 5 on Your Side's Laura Barczewski investigate who's really paying the price for big data.
That is Coco Jones performing Lift Every Voice and Sing in front of an audience of millions just hours ago before tonight's Super Bowl game. Jones got her big major singing break right here in St. Louis. The Grammy-winning artist is the daughter of former Rams player Mike Jones, the other Mike Jones. You remember the St. Louis Rams, right?
Second down and 10.
But did you know for one season there were 2 players on the Rams with the same name, Mike Jones?
I got traded to the Rams in 1998 from New England, and I played that season. That season was, I think we were 2-14 that year.
Mike D. Jones picks it up.
He's Mike D. Jones, not to be confused with the other Mike Jones.
In 1998, there were a couple of times where both Mike and I were both captains.
The confusion didn't last long.
After that season with the Rams, I signed with the Tennessee Titans and ended up playing against them boys in the Super Bowl.
It is caught by Dyson. Can he get in? No, he cannot.
That game was decided by a goal line tackle made by the other Mike Jones, sealing the Rams' Super Bowl win in 2000.
And the Rams have won the Super Bowl.
Every day somebody will say, hey man, you made that tackle in the Super Bowl. I was like, nope. I was the one that was crying on the other sideline.
Jones retired after that season. Years later, his daughter Coco would step onto Rams turf. Not as a player, but a performer.
Oh, say, can you see
that moment, I was so nervous because this girl was getting ready to get out there in front of everybody and have a stab at the national anthem.
At just 9 years old, Coco Jones sang the national anthem in a Rams jersey. Was that her first big public appearance?
Yes, she had done little plays at school and singing here and there at church, but this was by far the biggest thing she's ever done at that time.
Jones says Coco's godfather, a Ram scout at the time, arranged the moment. While Jones raised his family in Nashville, Coco's career would soar, starring in Disney Channel shows, music success, and a Grammy win in 2024.
It just seems like year after year, she gets bigger and bigger opportunities are coming her way.
Now another milestone, performing at the Super Bowl, singing the Black National Anthem. The significance of this song makes it even more meaningful.
I actually was just talking to Alicia Keys the other day, and she was the first to do it since they've implemented Lift Every Voice in the Super Bowl. And she just gave me some quick uplifting, don't be nervous, be in the moment, all of those things.
I'm incredibly proud, and I hope that she embraces the moment and how much that this really means to our people.
Jones didn't attend this year's big game, but he's watching with pride.
She's super conscious of the blessings that have been bestowed upon her, and she's really conscious of letting little brown girls know that, hey, you can do this too.
As for the other Mike Jones, Mike tells us they've stayed in touch and talk every year around the Super Bowl.
I mean, even at 9 years old, you could tell what a talent she was.
So, just a
powerful,
booming voice.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joined us now with the weather impact forecast, and some people will be singing about the weather over the next couple of days.
I think so. We won't be singing in the rain, that's for sure. At least not tomorrow, not Tuesday, not Wednesday. There is a little chance Thursday night, perhaps, getting a little bit of rain. The last couple of days, we've had a few clouds around, just enough to make for some pretty sunrises and sunsets. Henry shared this picture from the St. Louis Hills neighborhood from the sunset a night or two ago. What a pretty picture that is. Here's your 7-day forecast. Yes, there's still a rain chance this week. It would be Thursday, mainly Thursday night into Friday. Looks like it's insignificant, very light. A better rain chance as we go into Saturday. We're still trying to fine-tune that opportunity for us as we work our way into the weekend. We certainly know that Saturday is a very day. It's the big day of love, Valentine's Day. And of course, it's a long holiday weekend because Monday's President's Day. So, there's people that have plans. 29 right now. Hopefully your plans to stay inside tonight. 43 was our high. That's all we could do today. The warm air got to Rolla where it was 58. Just could not get into the St. Louis area. But tomorrow it will. We'll get back into the mid-50s tomorrow afternoon as we see some sunshine across the region and as the winds turn more to the south. Today's cloud cover down to our south. We saw some areas of sprinkles farther south, and then the active weather pattern out to our west. We're still tracking that area out to the west and the energy associated with that. So our first little wave just kind of slipping through the region here as we went through this evening. That slides on by. You see another wave that slides by as we go into this week through Thursday night. Then that slides out, and then this bigger wave shows up here as we go into Saturday evening. So Saturday later in the day into Saturday night, that looks like a more opportune time to see some rain, but the best chances look to be to our south. Now, this pattern is one that is conducive for more active weather, and so we'll be watching that going into next week, maybe the middle of next week, some more shower opportunities. But, we are in a drought. Drought begets drought. Don't think the rain is going to be especially heavy if we see it. Monday and Tuesday are mild. We have the weekend rain showers on the way. So your 7-day forecast, most of the week is dry. Tomorrow and Tuesday are your pick days. Mid-50s for highs Monday. Tuesday, we're around 60 after starting on the chilly side tomorrow morning in the mid-20s. And then by the time we get to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, more seasonable, typical type temperatures during the afternoon hours. Also more cloud cover Thursday into Thursday night. Thursday night, that's our best chance during the work week of seeing a little rain. And then as we head towards Friday night into Saturday, the chances start ramping back up. Looks like Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, there probably will be a fair number of showers across the region, especially south of St. Louis.
Starting tomorrow, today in St. Louis is getting an earlier start. You can now get the latest news, weather, and traffic beginning at 4:30 a.m.
What we wanted today in Santa Clara was a magnificent Super Bowl. What we got was, well, let's just say if you like defense and lots of it, you liked the game. Or if you liked field goals, you liked it. But if you wanted to see great offensive football, Super Bowl 60 wasn't your cup of tea. Hey, if you're going to have a Super Bowl in the Bay Area, there's only one person who should throw the coin toss, Joe 4 for 4 in Super Bowls, Montana. The Patriots could not block. Derek Hall sacks Drake May. Adam Sandler says my offense was better in the longest yard. The best player in the field was Kenneth Walker III. He was busting off big run after big run, 135 rushing yards, and he was the Super Bowl MVP. And it kept setting up Jason Meyer for field goals. He had 5 of them, 9-0 Seattle at halftime. Stop the presses. We finally had a touchdown early in the fourth. Sam Darnold to A.J. Barner, 16 yards, 19-0 Seattle. And as John Bon Jovi once sang, the Patriots were living on a prayer. But this one is answered. May to Mac Hollins, 35 yards. We have a 19-7 game. But the Seattle defense was the story. Devin Witherspoon will get the sacks. 6 total on the night. Uchenna Nwasadu with the touchdown. Seattle wins 29-13. Here's the soundbite of the night.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going to have a drink or 2 or maybe 3. Who knows? Hey, thank y'all so much for y'all time. Time to go celebrate with my guys, man. Thank you.
My dad, he comes out to Seattle all the time and watch games, but he never goes to the game because he don't like crowds. So this is his first NFL game, and, you know, we won a Super Bowl, so it means a lot to me, and I know he's proud of me for real.
Awesome. Final round, Waste Management Phoenix Open. Chris Gotterup was insane. On the 18th, this was his approach. It set up a birdie. He birdied 5 of his final 6 holes to shoot 64 and force a playoff with Hideki Matsuyama. Then on the playoff hole, he will drain the bomb. Chris Gotterup is your Waste Management Phoenix Open winner. What a day. Likewise for SLU on Saturday, the basketball Billikens continue to be the best show in town. The net rankings came out today. That's the one the NCAA tourney looks at. SLU is 15th. Bottom line, if they could run the table and finish, say, 33-1, they could be a 4 seed in the NCAA tournament. And do you think any team wants to deal with this kind of shooting? Yesterday, LaSalle had cut the lead to 5 with a little over 8 minutes to play. Then it happened. We're talking 3 3-pointers in a span of 55 seconds. We're talking 5 of 5 3-pointers, and the lead is 18 less than 2 minutes later. That's what happens when you have Ish Sharma and Brady Dunlap both feeling it at the same time.
We were ready for that. Yeah, we were ready for that. I mean, we didn't look like it, but we were ready for it. Yeah, we practiced against it. You would not think we had, but we spent the last 2 days, we worked against it. I don't know. We were a little bit out of sorts from a focus standpoint in the whole game. You know, like we were gonna, blitz 5, and we didn't.
That's when you know you're good, when you're complaining after a big victory. By the way, a programming note, no Sports Plus for the next 3 weeks because Kelly said she didn't want to have Sports Plus. No, actually, it's because of the Olympics. We'll be back.
Yes.
All right, thanks.
All right. Well, the party is underway in Soulard for Mardi Gras, and today it went to the dogs.
I had to shoot this morning, but then I had a little bit of time, so I figured, you know what, I'll just wander aimlessly around Milan for an hour or so. First, I went up in the Branca Tower to get a view high above Milan, a little foggy, couldn't make out the mountains quite, but still cool. It did help me spot out the Olympic cauldron in the Arch of Peace. After that, I took a little stroll around Milan, why not? Saw this guy going to town on a cover of Despacito. As I got closer to the Duomo in the heart of the city, I stopped and listened to this woman singing Ave Maria for a crowd. It was just about as Italian as I could possibly feel. Then I got a slice, caught a train at the Duomo. A lot of history and Olympic flair in about a 30-minute walk.
Mardi Gras festivities kicked off this weekend with the Purina Pet Parade in Soulard.
Today, thousands of people dressed their pets in their Sunday best and took to the streets. This staple St. Louis Mardi Gras event is known as the world's largest costume pet parade. Proceeds from the event go to the Open Door Animal Sanctuary, a local shelter that cares for and adopts out more than 1,400 pets every year.
And after the parade, hundreds of people and their pets made their way to the annual Wiener Dog Derby. This is the longest running event of its kind in the whole country. So these little contestants had a big legacy to carry on. The dachshunds raced across the 30-foot long track, some faster than others, to meet their adoring fans at the other end. The Bud Light Grand Parade is next Saturday.
And Scott has a final check of the weather impact forecast.
So there might be some showers around for the upcoming parade on Saturday. Probably, though, it's after the parade's winding down. And at that point, you most likely won't care if it rains a little bit.
You will not care.
Temperatures will be in the 50s on Monday, near 60 on Tuesday. Cooler the rest of the week.
Be like that soundbite that Frank had. Blair. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on your phone and TV.
Start your day with Today in St. Louis starting at 4:30 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.